So a quick overview of what we're going to be doing. We're going to create a script in TypeScript that's going to hit an API and then display the response on Polybar over here. So as you can see, we already have like a couple of modules running already. We've got the workspaces one, the window title, and a couple of built-in usage stats modules over here for the CPU, volume, RAM, etc. And the difference is what we're going to be writing is a fully custom module that's going to hit our script and then spit out the output of that script onto the module. So this is the API that we're going to be hitting. It's been my go-to API, which just basically spits out a quote by Kanye West. It's free, it's open source, you don't need any authentication to hit it, which is why it's been my go-to for like testing my boilerplate and API scaffolding stuff. Yeah, and hopefully the codes list has not been updated in the last 2 years or so. So to get started, you want to go to your Polybar config directory, which is generally going to be in your home/.config Polybar. And let's open this up. And we're not going to touch our actual Polybar config itself for now. We're going to work on our script to hit the API first. So to do that, let's go ahead and create a new directory here called scripts. And let's give our script a name. Actually, we can just write this in TypeScript instead. Sorry, JavaScript instead, because that would probably make it run a little bit faster, because TypeScript, Node would have to first transpile it to JavaScript and then run it. So what do? We want to create a function that's going to hit the API. And we're going to use fetch for this. So this does have to be, make this an async function. And then we can do await fetch. And this is the actual API that we're going to be hitting. And it's being unusually slow, but yeah, it returns a JSON with a key called quote and then the actual quote itself. So let's just copy this URL. And it's a JSON, so we want to parse that into a JS object. It's going to be the response, and the data is going to be res.json. And again, this is going to be an async function, so let's do that. And the way that Polybar works is you have to, whatever data that you want to send to the module, you have to push that into the standard output. And the easiest way to do that in JavaScript is just going to be using console.log. So what do you want to send to the module? We want to send the quote key. So we're going to do that. So let's just quickly test out our script before we start working on the config. So you can just run node. Right, it's inside scripts. Just run node Kanye. And nothing happens because we're not actually calling this function yet. Go ahead and do that. And you can see that every time we call the script, you get a new code. Cool. So now we can actually start working on the script. Actually, before that, let me just add a simple, I'm going to wrap this in like a basic try catch, just so we can handle like API failures. And the catch, we are just going to say, cool. So now if there's something wrong with the API, for example, you can see that we get an error message back. So now we can actually start working on our config itself. And this is pretty straightforward as well. All you have to do, so if you see here, these are all different modules. Most of these are built-in modules. That's why you have a type for them. And these are all the modules that you see over here. So you've got the volume slider, the CPU usage, timestamp, the workspace switcher, the window title bar, etc. So you can go ahead and define our new custom module. So I'm just going to call this Kanye. You can name this whatever you want. And then we need to set a type for this module. So it's going to be custom script. I think that's the type. You can take a look at, I'll leave a link to the documentation in the description. You can take a look. And yeah, the type is custom script. And then we need to set this exec parameter. And this is basically going to be the core of the module. And this basically defines what script we want this module to run to fetch data to be shown. So in this case, we basically just want to do this exact thing inside the exec parameter. So I'm going to use the absolute path here. Node. I don't know if this works with relative paths as well, but you can try that out for yourself. And then the label is just going to be output. So what this means is if you want to like do some kind of splicing or some kind of formatting on the output directly from the script, you can do that here. I think that's basically it. Okay, we need an interval. So this is actually kind of interesting because if you say you give an interval of 5, what this actually means is you're going to, Polybar is going to run this exec script every 5 seconds. So this is defined in seconds. So you can basically do this in 2 ways. You can either handle the interval inside of the script itself and you can get rid of this parameter completely, or for a simple enough case like ours, we can just let Polybar take care of this for us. So for testing purposes, I'm going to set this to 5, but realistically you wouldn't want to hit this API every 5 seconds because you'll probably get rate limited. So let's see if this works. I'm going to zoom out, and yeah, you got to do one more thing. So you've basically defined your module here, but there's one more thing that you got to do, which is basically add it to one of the sections on the bar. So if you scroll up a bit, you can see something that looks like this, which basically defines the list of modules that show up on the left, the center, and the right. Now I want this quote to start showing up right after my workspace switcher, so I'm going to add it here. You put in the name that you defined your module with. So in our case, it's just going to be Kanye. So to see if this works, we have to basically kill our current Polybar instance. And let's just start it up again. And of course, you need to, you gotta basically run it with the config that we defined. So let's go take a look at that. And check it out. So this is basically the code that we're fetching from the API, and it's gonna get refreshed every 5 seconds. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of this for now, and I'm gonna kill Polybar. And you can take a look at their documentation. Again, I'm gonna link this into the description. You have like way more options to like customize the appearance of the module itself. You can format the output in different ways. You can also make it like do stuff on click and other events. So this is not going to be very performant because you're going to be using Node to run the script every time. So if you're doing like complex computation and stuff like that, you should probably look into something else like Go or Rust, and then run the actual binary here instead of interpreting the script every time. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to leave comments down below and I'll get back to you. Cool. See ya.